Hello, viewers. This is Gazer Lou, and I'm about to announce a major lifestyle change because I got some news the other day, which, strangely enough, was good news and bad news at the same time. So I'm going to ramble a little bit because I think some of this stuff might be important to us older folks. After all, the purpose of the channel is to help older people live useful, productive lives. So I have had for years a abdominal aneurysm, and for those of you who do not know what those are, like a garden hose with a bulge in it, except if this bulge breaks, I don't squirt water, I squirt blood, and I probably won't survive because I work out a lot by myself. So I asked the tech who did this scan. I said to her, how about telling the doc that I'm doing very heavy lifting, 220 pounds, and what should I do about that? So, oh, no, I can't do that. I said, what do you mean you can't do that? So, oh, it's against protocol. We've changed things. Protocol? It's a simple question. Nope, can't do it. And she was not too happy with me, although I'm never abusive. Try to be assertive, but not abusive. So I said, okay, I'm going to have to talk to them myself. Well, I didn't think she liked that either, so well, I'll tell my nurse. So the nurse calls me, and we go through the same rigmarole again. And she said, well, and finally I think I was convinced her that I'm going to find out one way or another from one of these doctors or one of the people associated. So she said, I'll find out. So she hangs up, calls back later and says, okay, here's the scoop. Your abdominal aneurysm is now 5 millimeters, which is just under a quarter inch, I think. And I said, okay. And the doc says you shouldn't lift anything more than 50 pounds. Whoa. So I'm thinking, okay, let's see. Lift over 50 and die? Lift heavy and die? Or lift light and live? Lift heavy and die? Lift light and live? Not as easy a choice as you might think, because this is going to involve a major behavior change and a psychological adjustment. In fact, I could describe my life as a dog. When I was young, I was an alpha wolf. As I get older, I became a very big dog. In fact, they used to call me Big Dog. So then as I get older, I became the old dog. And now I think I'm beginning to be a Chihuahua dog, which I do not like, but I'm going to have to handle it. So I'm going to show you a few things as I talk here and how am I going to make this adjustment. So I'm going to be able to continue rowing. There's my rower. I'm going to be able to do that. But all these weights, all these weights, hundreds and hundreds of dollars worth of weights, I'm not going to be able to use them anymore. In fact, picking up one of them is more than what I'm supposed to be picking up. Oops. So I'm thinking, well, here's what I'm going to do. I'm not going to sit here and moan and groan and cry about it. I'm not going to feel sorry for myself. What am I going to do is I'm going to sell all these weights. I'm going to put them on the marketplace and sell them. They're worth hundreds of dollars, like $700 or $800 easy. I'm going to do some rowing. I bought a special pair of inserts for my shoes and got some walking shoes. And I'm going to walk a lot more. I'm going to do multiple lighter reps. I think the most I'm going to do is, let's see here. Yeah, I've got a 50-pound weight set here. I mean, a 50-pound dumbbells, so I'm going to do them. And I'm going to get rid of all the rest of them. And maybe keep some of the smaller ones. So, quite a shot in my arm. So the reason I wanted to talk a little more about this is, this requires behavior change. Behavior change is extremely difficult. And I'm going to give you an example. I had a friend, so long ago, I'm sure when he knows him past. His name was Jim Brown. Back in the day, when you were in an office, you could smoke away. The whole ceiling tiles were brown from smoke. And he had a heart attack. He went and saw the doctor, and the doctor said, "Ooh, you're going to have a heart operation." So they stripped the xiphoid vein out of his leg, and he underwent surgery, and he came back, I don't know, a couple of weeks later, and man, he was a changed man. He was happy. Man, I can taste food. Things are great. About a month and a half later, happened to walk by. "Jim, what are you doing?" He put down a cigarette in the ashtray. "Oh, well, I'm buying now." He went back to smoking. Yes. So a little while later, bam, another heart attack. Back in the hospital he goes. The doctor strips the xiphoid vein out of his other leg, reworks his heart, whatever they did, and says to him, "If you don't stop smoking, you're gonna die." Cool. And by this time, they had passed a rule in the company I was with, no more smoking, interior of the building. Okay? So now all the addicts, because you are an addict if you can't stop, was out in the back, smoking away. And about a month later, I happened to be back there on doing something, and there's Jim, and he's got a cigarette in his hand. Well, guess what? He died. Behavior change is one of the most difficult things you can do. And I'm going to have a hard time with this, but I think I'm motivated enough to think if I don't do this, I'll probably kill myself. Although I will say this, I will finally get a viral video. So I'm going to do what I say I'm doing. I'm going to walk more, lift light weights, row, and just be the best person I can be. So this is Giza Lou saying, adios amigos, only temporarily.